What's up, everybody? This is J.Coole James. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the status of the tablet market and what it means for you, the consumer. So, it's no mystery that there's a giant in the industry. Let's go ahead and discuss the giant first, the big boys, Wacom. They've been around for, quite a while now. It's been over a decade, well over, because I remember when I was trying to get a digital tablet, they were the only show in town, and they were expensive. They were out of my price range, and it was a pipe dream, something I could only hope for. They built a reputation for reliability, having the product, and once upon a time, like I said, they were the only way to go. So they became the industry standard. And I want you to understand what I'm going to do is do a comparison in this video and let you guys know the facts. I'm going to give my opinion as well, but we're going to stick mostly to the facts and just let you guys know exactly what's going on and what's taking place and what the future of the industry holds. So as far as these tablets are concerned, you look at what Wacom has done and what they've accomplished, and that's great. They set the standard and they built a reputation, they built a fan base, and I know the fan base is huge, and I know that I will probably catch some flack for this video, but I don't mind ruffling feathers. I never have. So let's go ahead and get straight down to business. Let's look at what Wacom has done as well as what some of these other off-brand tablet companies have done. So you have Wacom, who's competing with them right now and doing so successfully. Well, you have these other off-brand companies that came out. You have XP Pen, you have Huion, you have Parblo, you have Oogie, Pienbu, all these other companies that have come out and sprung up over the recent years. However, two stand out. Let's discuss those two first. So you have XP Pen and Huion. Those two have set themselves apart from the rest of the competitors that have sprang up over recent years. How so? Well, if you look at Huion and XP Pen, they're the only ones with tablets that even look remotely different from these other competitors. Everyone kind of, in order to get the price point low, had the same software, the same generic look. They were all basically using the same interchangeable parts, just with their own name and logo. And being at that price point is what built them a fan base, as well as free advertisement. Genius marketing. You talk about YouTube, you get YouTubers that people view, people trust, and you give them free products to review. And yeah, some of those reviews were probably even sponsored. However, the reviews conclusively came back that these were affordable, workable tablets that were worth the money and that people would go purchase and would do the job, and they were affordable. That was the main selling point at first. However, these tablets have now begun to take things to the next level. How so? Let's discuss further XP Pen and Huion. They went from 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity. Parblo Coast was actually, looked like they were poised to lead the way. They've only got, in my opinion, about a few months to a year to catch up before they get left in the dust. They were the first to come out with the battery-free stylus. Up until that point, that was a Wacom only feature. They had the battery-free stylus, they had the digital eraser on the back of the pen. The Parblo Coast 22 was a great tablet. However, it was missing some key functions. Even though it only had the 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity on the pen, that was fine. They needed express keys. It did not have express keys, and therefore quickly fell into that old generation of tablets. So all those 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity, no express key tablets are kind of that old generation. New generation, XP Pen, Huion. Now you're talking express keys, 8192 levels of pressure sensitivity, higher reports per second from the pens, etc., etc. They're now stepping into their own, separating themselves from the competition and trying to stand out, and doing so successfully and very well, might I add. So let's go ahead and discuss that a little bit further. XP Pen was actually the first. As far as the Huion Canvas, they had the Canvas. It was a nice tab. They had the scrolling bars. Didn't have quite as generic a look to it. It was a little bit prettier. That was a good selling point. However, it was also a little bit more pricey. It was half the price of a Wacom tablet of a comparable size, because Wacom's $2,000 for a 22-inch. They've gotten bigger over the years, but we're going to discuss that further. So they had the 22-inch. It was running at about $800 to $900 for a while. Then it dropped down to where it was $800. So the canvas was $800. The XP Pen 22E was about $550, at least when I was purchasing. I bought the 22E because it had more express keys, and that's really what I was looking for, as well as the lower price point. And everything else seemed pretty comparable between the two, except for the levels of pressure sensitivity. Huion was the first to come with the 8192, and at the time it was so new, nobody that I asked for in the reviews was able to tell me anything about it. Actually, Aaron Rutten was the one who described the different levels of pressure sensitivity and what they do. That was a timely video, thanks. If you guys get the chance, check out his channel, he's a great artist. But back to the topic, that level of pressure sensitivity is great for a light sketcher like myself. That was the only reason I really so heavily considered the Huion canvas, was because of the pressure sensitivity. But if you look at the XP Pen, they had everything else that I wanted, so that's what I chose. And then after I purchased it, literally a month later, I exchanged it for the 22E Pro because they did get the higher level of pressure sensitivity. Much better tablet. It was only a month later. It was the next year's model. However, the upgrades were, man, they were huge, and it was an impact on my workflow. Better matte screen, 16 express keys instead of 8, quadrupled the levels of pressure sensitivity on the pen. I mean, it was just amazing. And then you had the higher reporting rates on the pen. They went from 230 to 266 as far as reports per second, or RPS on the pen. The Huion canvas was still at 230. They recently, to keep up, upgraded from 230 to 266. Now they have a battery-free stylus. They have the donut pen holder, as well as the pen holder inside of the actual tablet itself. So Huion is doing some things as well to keep up. These two are really, in my opinion, neck and neck. It can go either way. But now you're looking at companies who are coming up against Wacom, and they are moving rapidly to try to snatch the market, and doing so in a large way. Then you have Wacom. Now let's discuss them. Like I said, they've gotten bigger over the years. They went from the Cintiq 22 to the Cintiq 24 to the Cintiq 27, and now even a Cintiq 32. They just tweeted out recently that they've got something new, slimmer, and more colorful coming out. That's wonderful. But as far as your other flagship tablets that you're selling for that high price point, they're really pretty. Wacom, they're beautiful tablets. They're sexy, they're slim, they're sleek. They represent technology, in my opinion. They're beautiful. But even though they've gotten bigger, have they gotten better? That's where you need to ask yourself before you go purchase. The answer, the levels of pressure sensitivity have pretty much remained the same. Yeah, they usually have the high color gamut. That's wonderful. And that's where Huion is kind of beating out XP Pen. XP Pen has the higher level of express keys. It got more express keys than Huion. Huion only has 10. XP Pen has 16. That's great for your workflow, especially with a 22-inch tablet taking up your desk space. For myself, working at the kitchen table, I don't have the room to have the tablet plus the keyboard and do my shortcuts. So having it all right there on the screen on both sides where I can do what I need to do, excellent. So that's why I prefer the XP Pen. Even though Huion has 100% of the RGB color gamut, I believe the XP Pen has 72% at this time. However, for me, it doesn't really matter because the color on my XP Pen is still better than my HP 15. So I'm not really losing any color perception. And then even if I transfer those photos digitally and put them, say, in my Amazon Photos and look at them on TV, it's still the exact same color. So thus far, even though I wear glasses, I still haven't noticed any issues as far as color. But that is something I'm sure that they'll probably upgrade later on down the road. And I'm sure it won't take long because these companies have been responding pretty fast. And that's why I think Wacom's in trouble. Now hold on, before we go any further, I know there's a lot of fans who are going to say, no, 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 they're there to stay. These other guys are still playing catch up. That may very well be true, but that's only on a reputational basis. You have to understand that from a business perspective, as far as the actual product is concerned, they've already caught up and in some ways even surpassed. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people who say, no way. I'm just giving you the facts. If you look at the stats of what they are producing on paper, forget about the names. I know that you have the Jordan or Adidas of the tablet industry in Wacom, and that these other guys are kind of like K-Swiss. I understand that a name means something. But when you really start thinking about it, is that what you're paying for? Are you paying for the product, or are you paying for the name? Yes, there are people who will pay for a name brand, myself not being one of them. Let's look at it honestly from a business perspective. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's no secret. It's in the news all the time. Politics. If you look at billboards that you drive by, 1 in 5 kids is going hungry. So when it comes to that, are you looking to add a new bill to the family budget to finance a $2,000 to $2,500 tablet? Or are you just going to try to maybe take your tax return and purchase one on Amazon for a quarter of the price? Especially if it does the same thing. Or if you're able to read reviews from professionals who didn't want to share with their spouse and bought that off-brand tablet, and I'm not going to share with her, she can have this one, I'll keep my Wacom, and then come to find out now she has the exact same product, if not possibly even a little bit better than what I have. I can save the money and get what she's got. If you don't believe me, read the reviews. That's what I've been doing for months. Literally like the last year, that's all I've been doing is reading reviews, looking at products, looking at the stats. I've kind of become a tablet professional, unfortunately, over the last year, because that's how much I was searching for what I wanted. And when you look at these reviews, you look for more than one source. I didn't just look at YouTube reviews. I looked at Amazon, I looked at eBay, I looked all over the internet. And if you've got a review from one person saying they had some dead pixels, okay, maybe that product was defective. It happens. But if you've got 3 reviews, now I'm kind of fishy. If you've got 15 reviews saying you got dead pixels, I'm moving on to the competitors. I'm not going to stick with trying to see and hope I get the Russian roulette of a good tablet. I'm not going to do that. Not when I'm spending $500. That's a lot of money for most of us. Most people don't just throw away $500. So let's just be honest. Yeah, that's a lot cheaper than a Wacom, but it's still a decent chunk of change. Especially, like I said, when most Americans today are out here struggling. Most people today, not even just Americans, because these are international products, but most people today are out here struggling. So you look at the tablet industry and you look at what's going on. As far as Wacom being the industry standard, here's what I say to this. Photoshop, Wacom, there are certain things in the industry that have the stigma and the stereotype of being the industry standard. And if you can't meet that industry standard, the status quo, you don't fit in this box, we're not messing with you. Okay, here's the answer to that. As far as industry standards are concerned, your family wants to sit around and watch a movie. You're not going to go to the theaters. You can't afford the popcorn, etc. You're going to watch a movie from home. Once upon a time, the industry standard used to be to just go rent a movie from Blockbuster. For those of you who are old enough to remember Blockbuster, go find me one. Oh wait, there aren't any, because the industry changes. Industry standards change, especially when it comes to technology. Renting VCRs and VHS tapes are gone. Renting DVDs is gone. Now everything is digital. So Blockbuster fell to the wayside, and now everybody's got a Netflix account. Redbox used to be the thing. Are they still? Netflix is easier. And when you're at home just clicking on the movie, it's kind of free too. So you're paying your monthly bill, but you don't have to pay each and every movie that you select. So you see what I'm saying? Industry standards change, things change, people change. And when it comes to a technological market, you have to be on the racetrack, because things change from day to day. All it takes is one new piece of technology to come out, and whatever particular segment of the industry you're controlling could potentially die overnight. So industry standards change. So don't let the industry standard change your perception of what's going on. Don't be fooled. Things are changing and things are getting better, because now that there's competition, people are competing for your dollar, which means you're in control and you have a choice on which direction you go. Don't get me wrong, this is not a Wacom bashing video. This is to help you make an informed decision the next time you go to purchase a tablet. There are a lot of people who will say Wacom or nothing. I've had a Wacom for 8 years and it's lasted great. That's wonderful. But these other tablets are probably going to work just as well. I mean, you look at, thus far I'm happy. I have an XP Pen 22E Pro. These other tablets look like they're some good quality tablets as well. But just because something's been out for a long time doesn't mean that it's the only option. Okay, I mean, we just discussed the whole Blockbuster scenario. Let's take it a step further. These other tablets are actually listening to their consumers, and that's what it's going to take. When it comes to XP Pen versus Huion, who are really, in my opinion, the main competitors in the tablet industry right now. I mean, everybody's going to say Wacom's still there, but in my opinion, from a business perspective, unless they make some changes or get it together within the next 5 years, that giant is really going to start to taper off, because things are changing and changing fast. And I know a lot of people will say no way, never, but yeah, I'm pretty good when it comes to business, marketing, and money management. I've taken courses, and I can almost smell when somebody's about to go out of business, and Wacom really needs to step it up. So let's talk about it from a technological standpoint. Okay, iPhone versus Android. It's been a big debate for a long time. Why? I'm not going to say who I choose, but I mean, if you don't have a back button, I mean, we might have a bit of a problem. But seriously, when you look at things for smartphones, does it matter if you have the latest iPhone? It really doesn't. People get that to impress others and say, look, I have the latest iPhone. But when it comes down to it, smartphones all do the same function. I can check my email. I can send a text message. I can video chat. I can phone call. I can download different apps and do all the same things that you're doing. And I can go get my smartphone for $100, whereas you paid $1,000 for yours. But really, on a day-to-day basis, are we enjoying such a different experience interfacing with our phones that people now use all throughout the day, every day? Is it that much different of an experience? Or did you just pay for the name brand? Realistically and honestly, my wife has an iPhone. I have an Android. I've used her phone. I'm not going to say it sucks, but it's not that great. I wouldn't pay $600 for it, which is, I think, what she paid when it came out. I'm not going to do that. You call me frugal, but that's just me. I'm not going to spend that type of money on a cell phone when she and I literally sit next to each other doing the exact same things at the same time, even responding to one another on, different forms of social media or laughing back and forth. We're doing the same thing in the same time. So why would I pay the extra money to do the same thing? And it's kind of the same thing with these tablets. Why would you pay the extra money? And we're not talking about, and once you really think about this, we're not talking about chump change. You're talking about a down payment on a vehicle that you might have to take to the mechanic and spend half of what you paid for it in the first place for parts and labor to get it fixed. If your Wacom $2,000 tablet dies, I've been reading reviews and people complaining and asking for other options. You spend $2,000 on the tablet, the thing takes a dump, you reach out to the company, yes, we'll replace it, no problem, we'll fix it. $1,000 for parts and labor. Wait a minute, I just spent $2,000 on your product, and when it takes a dump, you want another $1,000 to fix your mistake? Oh no. I don't know about you guys, but that's not how J.Coole James does things. That's not what customer service is about, and that's really not good marketing. Then you have to look at other things as far as, okay, so the question naturally arises when you're looking at something that's $2,000 or $2,500 comparison to something that's $500 or even $800. The Huion canvas. That's kind of the big thing right now with XP Pen and Huion. Yeah, you get the higher color gamut with Huion, but it's also a $300 price difference, because right now on Amazon the XP Pen is $499. The brand new Huion canvas, the upgraded version V2, is $810. The V1 is $799, but why wouldn't you just pay 10 extra bucks to get the V2? You might as well. If you're going to go with the Huion, get the V2. But when you're really looking at it, why would you spend $2,000 or $2,500? I mean, we're not talking about, hey, like for instance with the XP Pen versus the Huion. Hey, you want the higher color gamut? You're going to pay for it. Okay, sure. If that's really important to you, you're putting out work and you have to print and everything's got to be just right, and you're going to spend the extra $300. Okay. If Wacom were saying, hey, we're a better deal, we're better quality, we're better customer service, we back our products 100%, we deserve to be 1, 2, 3, possibly even $400 more, which is, like we discussed, it's not, chump change, $400 more than the competitors. Okay, I could live with that. But when you're talking about being 4, 3, or even 2 times the price, Now we start to raise the question of price gouging. So when it comes to price gouging, are they price gouging? The answer to me is an affirmative yes. Here is why. The Ergotron arm stand. When you have a stand for your tablet, your tablet costs $2,000, it doesn't come with a stand. But when you have the Ergotron arm stand, and the stand is $400, the stand costs more than some of these competitors' tablets. When the stand is $400, and it's this big clunky stand that goes like this, I'm not impressed. And I've got to tell you, I mean, okay, here's a question. For those of you who own them or are fans of Wacom or want to defend Wacom, explain to me why the stand is worth $400. I mean, seriously, the stand, it's almost laughable. There's no way a stand should be $400. So I can go get a gas-powered Visa mount arm stand for my desk or a table, and that's going to cost me $100 on Amazon. $175 if I'm feeling fancy and I want the latest and I can plug my USBs into the bottom of it. That's great. But realistically, why would you spend $400 on a stand? I can Visa mount my XP pen for a quarter of that price as well. As these competitors are concerned, it looks like now they're giving you more bang for your buck. They're competing at a high level. They're coming with products that are superior to what the industry standard has been thus far as the stats on those products are concerned. They're reaching out to get better and better. They're not just getting bigger. The size of their tablets has not changed, but they are improving the specs, and they're not just improving the specs on the larger tablets. They're also going back to their smaller tablets and improving their pens, their software. The software for the 22E Pro was completely different than the software for the 22E. 22E was still using Ubi software. The 22E Pro has its own program and software. It runs a heck of a lot smoother. Thank you. Runs a heck of a lot smoother and is straight to the point, easy to interface with, way more express keys, etc., etc. The Huion, they've gone back and changed a lot of their products as well. So when you start looking at things and how they're improving and constantly revamping every year, is there still ground left to cover, or have they already closed that gap? I'm going to be the first to come out and say that gap has pretty much been closed. There's a few little tweaks here and there that can be made to really put the nails in the coffin. But as far as the big game is concerned, I think that people are going to start seeing exactly what I'm saying, and that is that things have changed in the market. There's a different place. It's become a lot more volatile, and you can't just rest on being the giant anymore. So I think that within the next few years, if Wacom doesn't make some major changes, they're gonna be in some trouble. So we'll see how things play out. I'm not gonna tell you which is better or which to choose. I'm just trying to lay out the facts. It's a little bit of my opinion as well, but just laying out the facts for you guys on what's taking place right now and what it means for you. So hopefully that'll help you make an informed decision. Look at reviews. Don't just look at one channel. Don't just look at one platform. Look at reviews in different platforms, different communities, and see what people are really saying. Because it seems like there's an emerging group of people that's growing larger, supporting some of these other companies, and they're doing so because these other companies are building their reputation. And you build your reputation with solid customer contact and solid product. Hope that helps you guys make an informed decision the next time you're in the market for a tablet. Hopefully you guys will like, subscribe, leave your comments in the bottom. I know they're going to be interesting, but let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys want to see next time. This is J.Coole James signing out. Holla at your boy.